Page 154, Chapter 22, Boondocks Forever. The Yellows won big. Zinkoff finds this out the moment he arrives at school next day. All the Yellows are wearing gold medals around their necks. The medals are really made of plastic, but they look exactly like Olympic gold medals, and they hang from their necks on red, white, and blue ribbons. Gary Hoban did great things at field day, and for the remaining days of the year, he is king of the school. Some days he laughs a lot and is friendly to people whose names he doesn't know. He is never the first one to speak. He has learned that if he holds his tongue, someone will congratulate him. In fact, so many congratulate him that he finds himself surprised when someone does not. On other days, he is serious and he is seen stretching and touching his toes during recess and during slow times in class. On these days, he does not seem to notice other people. His eyes are focused on the beyond. Certainly not the beyonds with the bins or the oh mailman lady. Most likely the golden beyond of Olympic glory. After a day or two, the other Yellows stop wearing their medals to school, but Hoban wears his every day, right up to and including graduation. Zinkoff sits with the orchestra during graduation. The orchestra has two numbers to play, plus pomp and circumstance, as the graduates march in. From his perch on the stage, Zinkoff can see everything, but he cannot locate his parents and sister in the crowd. The principal says things to get the program started. Then the superintendent of schools speaks. Then comes the orchestra's first number, Pelagio's Waltz. Twice during the number, Zinkoff's flute yips like a pinch sister. The music teacher winces, but Zinkoff never notices. Then, Katie Snelson receives a book for having the best grades. She stands at the podium and gives a speech. Everyone smiles and pays attention to her. Only the orchestra can see that she is grinding the toe of one shoe into the stage floor. Next come the awards and the special recognitions. There are winners galore for the best this, the best that, the most this, the most that, second best, third best. There are medals and citations and checks and handshakes and gift certificates and trophies. And for Bruce Domino, Principal's Award, a glass apple. It is during the giving of the awards that Zinkoff spots Mr. Yalowitz standing in the back. Mr. Yalowitz does not need to be there. He teaches fourth grade, and what does he care about graduating fifth graders? But there he is, Zinkoff's favorite teacher of all time, along with Miss Meeks, and his end of the alphabet neighbor. And suddenly it hits Zinkoff. He's graduating. No more grade school, no more walking, being first there in the morning. Next year, he'll ride the bus to middle school. No more staying in the same cozy classroom all day, all year. For the second time that spring, Zinkoff feels the tears coming. Graduation isn't over yet, and already he misses John W. Satterfield Elementary. He even misses the boondocks and the field day and Mrs. Biswell. He looks around. He loves everything and everybody. He wants to hug the walls. The last award is given, and it's time for the orchestra to play You'll Never Walk Alone. It's just about the hardest thing he's ever done. Play the flute and cry at the same time. The music teacher, he notices, seems to be crying too. He wonders how many of the original 2,160 days are left. He has never forgotten that number. Now the principal walks slowly to the podium. He thanks the talented musicians for the wonderful music. He smiles down at the graduates in the front rows. He says, "And now the moment we've all been waiting for." The graduates stand and head for the stage as the principal calls out the names. The superintendent of schools hands each graduate a rolled up piece of paper with a blue ribbon around it. The diploma. Most of the graduates grab for the diploma, but the superintendent holds it back and makes them shake his hand before forking it over. The calling of each name triggers a reaction in the audience. People run, crouching down the aisles to snap pictures. Family, relatives, friends cheer the graduate. Some cheers are modest, a little hand clapping, yes, Sarah, go get him, Nikki. Other families are more boisterous, leaping from their seats, arms waving, two-fingered whistles, moose calls stomping the floor. It's hard not to make comparisons. Hard not to notice who gets the loudest cheer, the longest, the most outrageous, the most camera flashes. It's like a last minute before you get out of here, final test. Zinkoff tries not to look at it that way. He knows that some families are simply not as loud as others, and that it doesn't mean they love their graduate any less. So it will be his own family. His father is not a whistler, nor his mother a stomper. Still, he can't help thinking it must be nice to have somebody go bonkers over you. That is, assuming you have somebody there to begin with, which he isn't assuming anymore because he still hasn't located his parents out there. Maybe Clunker 7 broke down, and it's getting to the point where he'll be thankful for just a peep. Because he's thinking these things and searching the field of faces, he fails to hear his own name called. And last but not least, Donald Zinkoff. The principal waits. The superintendent waits. The principal looks around as if Zinkoff might be up in the air somewhere. He says it again, this time with a question mark. Donald Zinkoff? Zinkoff snaps too. He jumps up, lurches for the principal, catches his foot in the chair of the clarinetist beside him, and goes sprawling to the floor. The flute goes clattering. The audience explodes with laughter. He doesn't blame them. What a goofus. He joins in the laughter. He scrambles after the flute. He picks himself up, takes a bow, and resumes his journey to the principal, only to be reminded that it's the superintendent he needs to see. By now it is quiet again, and again he is hoping, wondering. The tabletop that held the stack of diplomas is bare. The last one is in the superintendent's hand. Boondocks forever. Zinkoff reaches for it, but receives instead the superintendent's huge, warm paw. He shakes it. He stands at attention. He declares, Zinkoff reporting, sir. The superintendent gives him a grin, a brief half salute, and at last, the diploma. In the audience, someone shrieks, Go Donald! The voice is familiar. He looks. It's Polly. They've been there the whole time, right in the middle. His parents are clapping with their hands above their heads, but Polly's the one. She's sitting on his father's shoulders, and she's flailing her arms and pumping her fists and yelling her face off. Go Donald! Go Donald! And she's doing it. She's going absolutely bonkers. She's giving him the wildest cheer of all. And in the very back of the auditorium, standing against the wall, Mr. Yellowitz smiles and sends him 2 thumbs up.